Good morning, Heat Seekers. It's the normal crew here for week 14. For most of us, it's the final week of the regular season. For some of you, you may be starting the playoffs, especially if you're in something like the Scott Fish Bowl and you made the playoffs there. You will be starting this week. Little note, they are adding your season average to your total for this week in the SFB, which is a pretty cool thing if you're starting with buys, going on this week, plus all the injuries. Sully's down here. He's been complaining the whole 15 minutes about how bad his lineups are this week. But yeah, week 14. Matt, how are you sitting?
I'm excited for this week. None of my playoffs start until next week, but it certainly feels like they start today. I'm in 12 dynasty leagues. 5 of them I'm in the playoffs for sure. I have 2 this week where I need to win to get in. So it is.
One of those is versus me, right?
Has come.
Gamblers.
Yes, and Gamblers.
Both.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping Nikolai loses. I think he has the better chance to lose. If you or Nikolai lose and I win, then I make it in. With possibly the worst playoff roster in the history of playoff rosters. But we're holding on for hope. What about you, Sully? You said you had some bad lineups this week.
I do, and a lot of them I'm already eliminated in. So Scott Fishbowl, I wasn't close. I have a couple of redraft like listener leagues, like Front Yard Fantasy, that I'm in the playoffs. That starts today. But the biggest one for me is I need to win in our 96 V2 league and have Mitch pull an upset, and then that gets me back in the playoffs and a chance to repeat that title that I won last year. My team is good. I just haven't had a good season. So hoping to pull that off. Breaking news, Tony Pollard is out this week. Bryce, what does that do for you?
It makes my 2 shares of Zeke and both of those leagues I kind of need to win this week a lot better. But in my leagues, I kind of went after the first 3 or 4 weeks. I kind of knew there were 4 teams I had a legitimate shot to compete. It's down to 3, and then 2 of those I'm in kind of must-win situations. I've been kind of hurt with a lot of Barkley and Kamara, and actually 2 of those leagues who haven't helped me as of late. Zeke, who also hasn't helped me as of late. So all those dudes fully back to healthy. 2 of those leagues are must win. And as long as I don't lose and get outscored by 100 points in the Grand Prix, I should be taking one of the last playoff spots in that league. So overall, should be a pretty good week.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
I took some hard losses last week in the league that Matt and I were talking about. I had a shot to lock up my playoff spot and had Sony Michel in my lineup all the way up until about 4:00 or 3:30, whenever the news came out that Henderson was playing. So I swapped out Michel, put in Bateman. Bateman gets a 0. Michel scores 23 or whatever, and I lose by 13. So I would have got the win there. It would have locked up my playoff spot. I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in. Luckily, I play the guy this week that has no wins, and it really doesn't change my situation a whole lot. But if he pulls the upset, it would be like that, right? The guy with 0 wins gets his first one in week 14 and eliminates me from the playoffs. And then in another one of my big leagues, I had the number 1 seed, and I got my ass whooped last week by somebody that had Jarrett Patterson, and I don't even remember, his running back scored a total of 1.7 points. Wow. And Kittle. He whooped me by 30. He had I don't even remember. I can pull that up and talk about that, but yeah, so that knocked me out of the number 1 seed, which is worth $250 on its own, getting the number 1 seed in that league. So
that sucks.
So that was a little rough. But overall, I'm in a good spot. My if I win in the league that Matt and I are in together, and I get in the playoffs there, I have 3 leagues that are $250 buy-ins. I'll make the playoffs in all of those, so I'll have a shot to make a run. Which winning one of those would cover all my fantasy costs for the year, so that would be nice.
Those are the ones to make the playoffs in.
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm not making it in much else.
I'm hoping for 96v1 this year. I have a pretty good team. I'm going to be in my top 4, so hopefully that'll be a good.
I'll be in the playoffs there, and then I'll just quietly be exiting after that. My team is falling apart there, so
mine's pretty solid. But Ryan Furlong is undefeated in that league so far, and
that's impressive.
So
that is very impressive.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going through setting
Is
the
that the-
guy's lineup in yours because all his tight ends were out. So Thursday he couldn't set a lineup, and I went in there and I seen he's facing Furlong, and I'm like, oh damn, you're gonna need a tight end for this, buddy.
Is that the team that Furlong was trying to sell for a while there?
It probably
I think
is.
so. I think so.
Trying
I
to
forgot
sell for
about
like
that. That was funny.
$1,000.
Yep.
Like, bro,
Yep.
it's a $50 buy-in. Settle down. So that matchup last week, he had let's see here. He started Jarrett Patterson and DJ Dallas at running back.
Wow.
But he had
Gotcha.
Zach Wilson had like his best game fantasy wise of his young career. He
Yep.
had Justin Jefferson, who obviously had a nice week.
Mhm.
I don't even know. I'm looking at his roster right now, and I still don't understand how I got beat by 30.
If I lost to DJ Dallas, Zach Wilson, and Jarrett Patterson, I would be very, very upset.
T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson,
Higgins has
T.
caught
Higgins
fire
there.
lately.
Pittman.
Yeah.
I have to say.
He must have started Dalton Schultz at tight end. Like, I don't know. He scored 145 points with this squad, and I have no idea how.
Well, JJ had a pile in that one. I think he had 185 yards receiving and at least one score. So
Yeah,
that's probably 35 or close to it of that.
yeah. I don't even if I can find the matchup. That would be great. But yeah, so sitting in a good spot. We got a couple questions here. The first one is from Akiva Ekman. I hope I said that right. Who should I start, Freeman or Chuba? Is anyone starting Freeman over Chuba Hubbard? Bryce.
No, not this week. They're against Atlanta. Cam does like to dump it off. He is the starter today. I think Chuba sees probably his best fantasy week that he's had all year. I don't like Chuba the rest of the season. They got really tough matchups for fantasy playoffs, but I do like him this week.
I'm starting Freeman over Chuba.
Yeah, it's really close for me. I
think
lean Chuba, but I'm worried about Abdullah getting into
Correct.
the work.
Even Abdullah was even
Chuba.
involved in the passing game when CMC was healthy, and I think that he's going to take a bigger chunk. Now, Cam hurts Chuba as well because, as we've seen in the red zone, he's probably calling his own number as opposed to handing the ball off. And Freeman's taken hold of that backfield. Like, for what it's worth, he looks pretty good. He looks almost reborn. So I like him this week.
I'm going Chuba.
Well.
I think that, Baltimore just doesn't throw to their running backs very much, and I'll take that PPR upside with Chuba. Even if Amir Abdullah gets some, there should be a decent amount to go around. Plus, just like Bryce said, Atlanta's just bad. Ryan says, "Hey guys,
Morning, Ryan.
Got to pick two out of Debo, Lockett, and Sony Michel in PPR. Any thoughts?"
Is Sony not contract tracing benched? I thought I read something that said he was. Oh, he is. Oh,
I was gonna say I haven't heard that.
As far as I've heard,
I haven't seen that.
I was planning on playing Sony.
That'd be rather catastrophic if he is.
I think Bryce was played Madden, their new COVID feature or something.
No, I have a buddy in a group chat that's a huge Rams fan, and I could have swore he said that Sony was going to be out.
I haven't seen that anywhere.
Yep, he says he's in.
I haven't seen that anywhere.
Cool.
So Bryce, who are you going with now that you know that Sony's in? Which two are you picking out of them?
I'm going Debo and Sony.
Sully.
It's Sony for sure. It's the other two I'm
really
a little bit on the fence of, just because I'm a little concerned with Debo coming back.
Re-injury or something.
I think I have to go with Debo over Lockett, but Wilson started playing better last week. His completion percentage is back up. He always looks for Lockett. It's Debo and Sony for me, but it's close.
Yeah, I'll go Debo and Sony as well. I definitely am starting Debo. The question would be Sony or Lockett. Lockett, if I need big upside, I might go Lockett. But I'll go Debo.
You think Lockett has a higher ceiling than Sony?
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. So part of my concern with Sony is the Rams lost 2 offensive linemen last week, and it's just might not. I mean, he's going to be on the field a lot, so that's where I think he's safe. But I don't think I think we saw his ceiling last week. So yeah, I think if I need the higher ceiling, I would go Lockett, just from what we've seen in the past with his huge games. But I would pick Debo and Sony in a nutshell.
Yeah, when it comes to ceiling, I feel like Lockett's got he's one of probably the top 10, 12 players in the league with ceiling wise. We've seen that with Russ and him putting up 40-point, games, multiple touchdown games. So I do think that you play Lockett if you're in one of those bad situations where you're missing guys or you just feel like the opponent is real far ahead of you. But I'm going Debo and Sony. We learned Thursday night, if your studs are playing, there's very few situations like them blatantly coming out and saying, it's their emergency plays only is when I'll sit one of my studs. And we learned last week, obviously when Henderson, they say he's active and then don't play him at all. That's jarring, but that's not the norm when these guys come in. When they come in, they play. Last year there was a Keenan Allen week where they literally said
should have listened to you that week.
He was gonna be, limited, and he had a bad matchup that week. So, there's those situations, but typically, like Thursday night, everybody all day Thursday, the question was, do you start Dalvin Cook or do you sit him? And the answer is you start Dalvin Cook anytime he's freaking healthy. And you watch him score 30 points in the first half, and then you watch the Vikings try to blow it and not use them enough in the second half.
Hey, how many yards rushing do you think you guys would have had in the first half against the Steelers? I think I would have had at least 35, maybe 40. Those were the biggest holes I've ever seen in my life in a football game. Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know. I'm slow as hell and old, and I probably would have fell over after the first run. But,
I have one hit, I'm dead, but I still think I would have got 40 yards in that game.
See, I can take the hit. I'm not as worried about the hit as I am my lungs. That's my big concern when I'm the
old guy. I'm the old guy.
Well, I'm old too, but I feel like I can take the hit, but running and then trying to breathe is the
I would go from the field to a box. Like I wouldn't even make the blue tent. It'd be over.
Peter, back again for another Sunday morning show. We appreciate you a ton.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. Another deep dynasty question. And this isn't a joke. He's here with a deep dynasty question every Sunday morning. And today's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Bryce. Sing happy birthday to the man.
I'm not singing. Happy birthday, though.
Today is my birthday, and I need a W to make the playoffs. What a birthday present that would be. Jeff Wilson or Rashad Penny. Half-point PPR. I could bench Julio, but that seems a little crazy. Matt, why don't you start us off with this one? Jeff Wilson or Rashad Penny?
I will go Jeff Wilson fairly easily. I don't trust Rashad Penny. Stay healthy for an entire game, so I'll go Wilson here. Sully?
Yeah, reports out of Seattle is that Collins and Penny are going to split in the backfield. I think Wilson will take 65% of the touches for San Francisco. Debo will get in there a little bit and maybe a little bit of hasty, but I like Jeff Wilson by a wide margin there as well. And I would absolutely start Julio Jones this week if you have him on your roster.
Agreed.
Bryce?
I'm in the same boat. Yep. Great.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue much, but I do remember mentioning Rashad Penny's name last week about getting the work for Seattle and getting laughed at and laughed out of the room. He stayed healthy for an entire game.
Yeah, he got 11 touches and like 60 yards. It's one of his better performances in a couple of years.
Career.
But he actually stayed healthy for an entire game, which is, probably he had more carries than games he stayed healthy through in his 4-year career, wherever he's at now. His 11 carries matches or best the amount of games he stayed healthy. So yeah, I'm Jeff Wilson here too. And I'm starting Julio Jones. Absolutely. So
to your point earlier.
Well, I don't know.
There's no one else in that Tennessee offense, right?
But I don't know that Julio fits that bill anymore because even when he's played this year, he hasn't looked like the Julio of old.
Except one game, I think.
I was gonna say one game. That's fair. I think he's earned that title. I think he's earned that title over his career. That's all I'm saying.
And Ryan says, lock it against Houston is kind of nice, which is true. But every time I think somebody has a good match against Houston, it's somebody else in that game that goes off. It's weird. It's been
Houston hasn't really got their doors blown off like you would have think they have this year either.
Yeah,
I think it was the Rams that threw all over them earlier this year, but other than that, they've been.
I kind of like their I kind of like their defense on DraftKings today. If you really need somebody cheap,
I might take you up on that one.
I have Jacobs, Kamara, Chubb, start 2 PPR, and will Hill affect Kamara's value? Listen, we've been talking about it all morning, and I even commented, I think, on your post, Castile. Kamara is in your lineup. Quit worrying about it. Put him in your lineup. You're not sitting him if he's healthy.
That's like asking for JT, putting Jonathan Taylor in a question.
Kamara's gonna go off.
It's never gonna,
Yeah, just put Kamara in your, and this is different than in years past, right? Like Kamara's getting the majority of the rushing work when he was healthy.
They play the Jets too.
Yeah,
nothing's better than that.
No,
and maybe they try to take some touches from him now that they have Ingram, and him, but
Ingram's out though, right?
Ingram's out.
Ingram's out.
Oh yeah.
So is Ty Montgomery. I think Tony Jones might be playing. Yeah. Kamara probably.
Yeah, we saw that early in the year, right? That's the same exact setup we had early in the year where Kamara was getting over 20 touches, 20 carries
and he
for
was
the
top
first
back
time in his career. So yeah, you're just put Kamara in there. And then it's Chubb over Jacobs for me easily, right?
That's tough for me. Like I want to say Chubb, but Jacobs is the only healthy back in that backfield, which means he's going to get everything, all the pass work, which is usually what hinders him. I don't want to sit any of these guys, but I think I'm going Kamara and Jacobs.
I agree.
I think Jacobs' floor is higher than Chubb's.
Chubb's a really, really hard player to sit, but without Waller, without Drake, it's Renfro and Jacobs, in my opinion, and I think Jacobs has a pretty solid game this week. So I like them all. They're all top 12 running backs for me this week, with Chubb being at number 12. So it's tough.
Jalen Rashad's out with COVID too, so I don't know of any other back in that backfield that's playing today. I think it's
Peyton
Barber, maybe.
Barber still around?
Yeah.
Bryce,
what are you doing?
I don't sit my studs, and 2 of those guys are studs. So I'm not sitting Kamara or Chubb.
Yeah, that's the boat I'm in.
I get it.
Chubb could have a 200-yard rushing day any day. First
$5 bet, anybody?
I'll do Chubb.
I don't like betting against Chubb, but I'll take Jacobs over Chubb.
Hey,
is it a 2v2 bet?
I don't know, because if I do, then Jacobs' legs.
I'll go against Sully since he's ahead of me.
All
right, so I'll
make my weekly donation. Write it down, Bryce.
Castile also wants to know DK or Gallup. This is DK. Don't quit overthinking, Castile. This is DK. It's not Gallup.
Where's the quarterback question?
So
he quit asking that. He's like, fuck that.
Well, he's got.
It answers Aaron Rodgers. That's why.
Who are the 3? It was Rodgers,
Burrow, and Herbert.
And Burrow? Yeah.
I like Herbert a lot this week too, though.
Even without Keenan, you still like him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Josh Palmer day.
This is DK by the biggest margin ever, in my opinion.
I think Gallup could have a really good game, but I would start DK here.
I mean, he's now,
that whole band is back together. I think he suffers. Yeah.
Yep. And this is the first week. I didn't even know, like, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but apparently they've been limiting Amari. And
he barely played that last game. I
don't watch the Cowboys unless it's against Chicago or something, but yeah, so I'm like, oh, cool. All these weeks I've been putting Amari in my lineup, and he's been running 8 routes.
The reason I'm kind of into Gallup this week is with Pollard out, Zeke just hasn't looked like himself in a while, which might mean they lean more on the pass game. Yeah. Washington's missing their top 3 pass rushers in this game. So Dak potentially has more time to stay in the pocket, and that favors Gallup as a wide receiver, as somebody who feasts on getting down the field and making plays downfield. So I'm still starting DK here, but I think Gallup's a viable option this week.
The real crazy thing about Washington's defense is as their talented players get hurt, they somehow get better.
Yeah, they have been playing good on
defense. I don't understand what's going on in Washington, but that defense is on absolute fire right now. And Dak has been good game, horrific, good game, horrific, or vice versa to that. So he's on a roller coaster. But I agree with you. I think he has to throw the ball a lot this week. I just don't think Gallup's necessarily the guy.
Also, the first time Zeke wasn't on the injury report, since week 4.
which makes no sense at all because he's not healthy.
I mean,
He said, yeah, he is determined to be out there. So I think we see
Healthy enough, I guess.
I think we see a full workload again today.
Yep,
That we haven't
I
seen
agree with that.
Peter says, thanks. I'm locking in Wilson and hoping for a playoff run.
Good luck,
Good luck.
Peter.
Go get it. Happy
Brayden.
birthday.
Braden says, I have Hunter Renfrow, DK, Hollywood Brown, and Julio Jones. Who do I choose? This
Great
is
question.
a tough one with 4. Julio's not in. Well,
Nope.
Julio would
not
be
for me.
over Renfrow for me, but below
Really?
DK and Hollywood. So it comes down to DK and Hollywood. And with Russ looking better, I just can't sit DK. Renfrow, if AJ Brown was active, Renfrow would be ahead of Julio for me. But Renfrow literally, like, in one game on like 2 consecutive plays, broke his longest catch of the season with 32 and then like 49 yards or something. Like, Julio has that big playability that Renfrow doesn't. And if 2 players are close for me, I'm always going to take that big playability. So DK for me. Bryce.
Yeah, it's hard. It seems like Renfrow would be the safest option.
He is
Yeah.
the safest.
Agreed.
I will say that. Him or Hollywood would be the safe ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Metcalf as well. I really like his matchup this week. I think Russ has a great opportunity to bounce back this week against a soft team. I'm gonna throw in DK there and hope that starting my stud really does work this week. Sully?
I have Renfrow ranked the highest. That's who I'm going to roll with. Double-digit fantasy points in 6 straight, averaging over 20 in his last 2. Waller's out. He is absolutely a target machine. He is the new Julian Edelman right now. So I'll go with him. He's the safest play for me. I think he has the highest floor. If I'm up against Dalvin Cook or I'm really up against it and I need to shoot the moon, I'll go with DK because I think he has the highest ceiling.
Yeah, I'm not going to consider Julio. I'm concerned about the speed of the Browns-Ravens game. I think it might just be pretty slow and not a whole lot of snaps in general. So it's between DK and Renfrow, and I will also go Renfrow. He's just so safe. His ADOT is really low, but the volume he should see without Waller in the lineup, the lack of running back options, or just in general options. That
Another bet?
has.
We gonna double.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Bets this week.
I'll
I'll take DK.
Renfrow.
So
Yeah,
my
I'm
versus
in on
Sully
that.
this time. Bryce, you
I'll
get in
take
on
that
this?
all day.
Sure.
I'll go Renfrow.
All right, so I'm going versus Sully this one. You're going versus Matt. So we've all got
Actually,
something going.
Hunter Renfrow has scored double-digit fantasy points every single week this season except for week 6.
Well,
That's
that's
insane.
fine.
He's a great play this week.
That's fine.
He's a top 20 wide receiver. That's pretty interesting.
No, I'm not saying he's bad, but DK is just far superior in my opinion.
Yeah.
And has
No.
a better quarterback.
Hey,
Whitney's
if we're-
playing well.
If we're talking talent, no doubt about it.
Castile says I'm playing Herbert.
Castile knows by now to stop asking me who to start
Yeah,
at quarterback because I'm wrong
probably
every
just
week.
Herbert.
Well,
It's Rodgers
yeah,
for me.
but again, it's because he's got 3 guys. and it
yeah.
could
But he
be
can't
any
trade
of
in that
them.
league.
Probably Rodgers for me.
It's
too.
Rodgers for me.
It is Rodgers for me as well.
Every week from now on, it's Rodgers for me.
Now he's kicking us, hey? He's like, what a bunch of dicks.
No,
Not
I
Rondale.
don't mind Herbert at all.
Can I just take this one for us since I'm the Rondale Moore guy? The answer is not Rondale Moore.
But is it Rashad
Unfortunately.
Bateman? Because I thought
Yeah,
Rashad
I feel
Bateman
you.
had a good spot last week. He scored 0.
Rondale just
Yeah.
doesn't get involved in the offense, and his ADOT's probably the worst in the history of the league. So
Yeah,
As of now,
I'm
going
going.
not Rondale
I'm going.
Moore.
I mean, Rashad Bateman as well.
I'm going Rashad Bateman again, but
I am too, but I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if Rondale Moore scores more fantasy points than him.
yeah. I
oh,
don't trust
now
him
he's
this week.
asking.
There he is.
We didn't even like
There you
we
go.
talked
Look,
about
see?
this after he posted this because it was in the queue. But he says Herbert or Rodgers. Here's my QB question, Bryce.
Mhm.
I want to also thank Sully's Vikings for bringing in my DK parlay Thursday.
He
as
hit a
well.
10 bet parlay on Thursday night.
Oh shit! Congrats, Castile. That's tough.
He sent it to me, and I was like, holy shit, he's going to win this.
What was it? Do you
How
remember
much
what
was it to win what?
Plus, well, I don't even need to know the wager. Just how much was the plus?
He won $450
I'm like, probably
on
not
10, I
much.
think. On 10, I think. I can actually look it up. Here, hang
A
on.
10-game
Keep talking.
parlay was only
It's the answer. The answer is Rodgers for me. Probably the rest of the year. I'm just going to go with the guy that's more. Rodgers' floor is like. I mean, he hit that bad 1 week, but ever since then, like
10 to win,
he's just as safe.
450.
Yeah.
10 to win 450.
Harris anytime touchdown, Cook anytime touchdown, and on it goes from there. And he hit them all.
Rodgers' ceiling is just as high as all those guys, and his floor is higher. So I'm going.
Maybe we need to bring Castile on the team to work on some of these.
I don't know why he's asking. What's he asking me for?
Speaking of parlays, Ohio is going to be allowing sports games this year. I am so fucking excited.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It passed what 2 weeks or like last weekend? Joe tagged me in that post.
Yeah, I just realized that my league safe balance applies to FanBall, so I could play daily fantasy football with a bank. So the last 3 weeks of the season might be pretty ugly for this guy,
including the $5 bets.
Oh, I can't afford. I'm trying to make the money for the $5 bets.
He's like, hey guys, can I send you money on league safe for FanBall?
Totally
cover my bets, please.
You guys take travelers checks?
Justin Jefferson in here wondering if he should start James Conner or Aaron Jones. JJ, welcome to the stream. Thank you for dropping by and asking a question. We appreciate it. So it's sad that we're to this point because I'm a huge Aaron Jones fan, even though I hate the Packers. Matt, which one of these guys are you starting this week?
I think it's a tough question. I like the Packers offense a lot this week, especially their top 4 guys, which includes Dillon and Jones. But I'll go Jones here, even though I do think he'll split a lot of work with A.J. Dillon. Sully?
Cardinals still haven't officially brought Chase Edmonds back up off of IR, so they probably won't do that until this.
I don't think they can, right? They have to do it 24 hours before the game. Wouldn't he have had to been lifted off of IR?
I think they activate him on Saturday at like 4 by 4.
No, because they play Monday night.
Oh,
okay. So maybe they could today.
So they could still do it today. Regardless, as much as I like Aaron Jones as well, I'm going to start James Conner here. He scores the touchdowns. He gets the goal line work. It's a huge divisional game. I'm going to go with James Conner. I'm a little bit concerned about the massive split in Green Bay, and it's not snap splits. It's like possession splits the way they do it. So I'm concerned there. I like both of these guys. Clearly, I think, where do I have Jones? I have Jones at 13 and I have Conner at 9. So either one, but I would lean James Conner. What are you doing, Bryce?
Real quick, what do you guys think? If the Packers get up big in that game, do you think that they lean on Dillon and just try to save Jones, or do you think they continue to split?
I don't think they really lean on anyone, but I think that they probably put Jones on the shelf as much as they can, because I wouldn't think he's 100% even yet.
Yeah.
I don't
Packers
know
are one of those teams that don't really lay off people. Like if they're up big,
they're super careful with their players too. So they don't put them out there if they're hurting, other than Rodgers' toe.
Yeah, but Rodgers will throw until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Whether kind of like Tampa Bay, they do the same thing.
The other thing is Green Bay takes that play clock down to 0 on almost every play. So they run fewer plays than most teams. I think Conner has the ability in a higher octane offense to touch the ball more. So sorry, Bryce, I'm done there. Go ahead.
No, you're good. They both don't have really ideal matchups. I mean, is Roquan Smith active this week?
Roquan's active, and Akeem Hicks might be back as well.
Yeah,
well, that's a game changer.
Roquan's my favorite linebacker in the league, and
he's so
they
good.
do well against running backs, but then the Cardinals play the Rams, who have a stout defense all around as well. So I think in this situation, I'll just go with the guy I think's the better player. So I'll go with Aaron Jones and hope that that PPR value is a little bit better in James Conner this upcoming week.
Hicks got ruled out yesterday, so he's out, so he's not back. But like I said last week, Eddie Goldman's been playing real well. The defense has been playing okay. It's that offense that
seems like the Bears are just a coach and maybe a quarterback away from really being a good team.
System. They need a better offensive system.
I was going to say a coach.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Quarterback's fine. Quarterback's going to be okay.
He needs to break out as well.
I just saw a stat yesterday. Sid Luckman, who played in the 50s or whatever,
Yeah, I
The
saw
Bears
that
pass offense is averaging less yards than he did in like the 50s. This is the Bears offense this year. Passing offense is the worst out of any team in the past 4 years. It's bad. I do not disagree.
That's
with
really
that.
hard to fathom when you think about some of the offenses out there right now.
And you think about Matt Nagy was supposed to be, I mean, it was offense, right? That was the whole thing, was that he was offense, and it's just been so horrendously bad.
And Mooney and Robinson are talented. So to be able to do that with those two receivers is
And Cole
impressive.
Kmet is
Impressive.
a decent. I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive line in Chicago is really, really weak, right? And that changes what you can do on offense, but the calls are terrible from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's horrendous, and I mean, I just, as a Bears fan, it's embarrassing, and I wish. I'm going James Conner here.
If anyone cares, David Johnson's
It's like,
out.
hello.
David
COVID.
Johnson's out. Excuse me. James Conner for me. I just, the split in Green Bay, and James Conner just has a nose for the end zone, man. And both of them do. Both of these guys do. But just not knowing what Green Bay is going to do, and knowing that James Conner is still going to be the red zone guy no matter what. I'll take James Conner there. So hopefully that helped you out, JJ. I know we went off topic a couple times there, but I believe it was 2-2, right?
Yeah. Another bet.
Vote.
There's
Which
been a
one
few
you
of those
starting?
today already. Let's have good questions.
Castile already told us that. I have Julio, OBJ, and Javonte for flex, full PPR.
Can I go first? Javonte.
Go ahead. Second.
Third.
Javonte Williams.
And how awesome is it to watch that guy play football? He is going to be a stud.
Last week was a freaking treat, man.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's good.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
the last 2 weeks.
You bet against him last week, Sully.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm awesome.
He's like,
Who did I have? Who did I have over?
You had James Conner.
Okay. Still stupid, but
that was against me, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, chalk it up. Add up
Wasn't
the
there-
lives.
Wasn't there a Cooper Cup bet too that was pretty out there?
Yep. I think
I gave it to Rick. I gave it to Rick for his birthday. I said he could have any player, and I'll take Waddle.
I'm like
Waddle's still at 19 points or something.
Yeah,
Waddle's
sweet.
Yeah,
and it was looking good for me.
That's
It
why I
was
said
looking-
last week I don't want to bet against Waddle anymore. Like,
It
he's
was
not
looking-
a rookie wide receiver.
Cooper Cup,
The
Justin
rookie
Jefferson,
part of it is
Debo.
that's just a technicality at this point.
Mhm.
Like, he
just
is
like Jefferson last year.
Yep, he's
I'm
there.
starting to
and
feel better about.
I love the
selecting
talent.
him.
It looked
I
really
loved
good
him
until
coming
one
out.
drive. One drive,
Waddle.
Cooper Cup got 17 points and really didn't do any much after that or before it. So,
Hey, did enough to get the
it was
dub.
first drive in the third.
I just want to say, Javonte's made me some money here over the last 2 weeks.
Man. Oh, congrats, Sully. You cashed in the DK League.
I
Sorry to
did,
interrupt.
finally.
Sorry to interrupt. You mentioned Javonte, and I had him, and Sully beat me by 0.8 because of the fucking
I don't know
Bills
what
defense
happened, but I
Monday
actually
night.
got some money out of that thing. I was pretty excited.
I love that league, but I've been
It's so much fun.
I need to
I
pay
haven't been
better
paying-
attention, but I'll do that league
I
again
was
because it
gonna
is
say,
fun.
I haven't
Mhm.
paid any attention over the last 3 weeks. I've just been too busy and
I'm too many leagues.
haven't played any DFS at all. Who should I start? Cooks, Eskridge, or Reynolds? It's Brandon Cooks here for me pretty easily. He's the only guy that's going to get consistent targets there. I do like
Good
Eskridge
matchup.
long term. I think Eskridge is going to be a guy in the league that, if he stays healthy, is going to have a major role. I think he can do a lot of things, but I don't think that time is now. And then Reynolds, it's hard to trust the Lions. It's hard to trust Houston too. But I will say that Mills just targeted Cooks a ton when he was in there. So I'm going Cooks. Bryce.
Yeah, I'm going Cooks as well, but I don't hate Josh Reynolds this week. He's coming off back-to-back weeks of 10 plus points, but he's kind of dependent on a bigger catch. And I like the safer guy with Cooks who I see getting more targets and still has that big playability. Matt.
Yeah, I'll also go Cooks. I think Reynolds is a decent play as well, but that offense scares me. It could be a very low output game for the
Yeah.
Detroit offense.
And that's what I was saying, but then I remember Davis Mills was starting, and he's like a slightly upgraded Nathan Peterman.
He's better than that.
With the way
Not much,
Tyrod's
but
been playing, he might be a slight upgrade on Tyrod.
I'm going Cooks here as well. I think this is a big emotional game for the Broncos after the unfortunate Demaryius Thomas news, and I think they come out guns a-blazing, and I think Detroit's going to get blown right out of the water. So I like Josh Reynolds quite a bit. I'm higher than most on him, but not this week. It's Brandon Cooks due to targets and just probably a better player.
Marco says that was half PPR.
Yeah, it doesn't change it for me.
Me neither. Which DST to stash for playoffs right now? I took San Francisco and David Johnson on the COVID list. I know nothing about DSTs and schedules, so I can't.
Miami's not bad.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. I play in a few
Dolphins
redraft
been
leagues that
playing
play
good.
with defenses, and I've been stashing Miami just about everywhere. They're playing well, and their matchups are decent.
Yeah, they have the Jets and the Titans the first 2 weeks of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Any thoughts from you, Bryce?
No, I'd have to go in a deep dive and see what the playoff schedules would look like to really give a good answer. But what Matt just said sounds pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good to me too.
Yeah, it's not really something I want to do.
No $5 bet here.
No.
Yes, Debo is playing.
Scary Terry, Javonte Williams, or David Montgomery. And
It's
is
a
Debo
great
playing?
problem.
Debo is playing, it looks like. I haven't seen any news on whether he'll be full go or limited or anything like that. So keep an eye on that. But I was looking at so I was putting my DFS lineup for the league together last night. And I was looking at Mr. Scary Terry's stats, and they just have not been that good.
Nope.
They have not been that good. And obviously any given week he could break out, but it's between Javonte and David Montgomery here for me. And I probably go David Montgomery just because he's getting, Melvin Gordon's going to be back for Denver. And Montgomery's getting all the work. I mean, Herbert comes in and spells him a little bit, but if you didn't think David Montgomery was good, and if you haven't paid attention to watching him run since like halfway through last year, kid's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the matchup matters for him anymore, especially since they can't pass the ball.
Right.
Montgomery, I probably go Montgomery as well. He's probably the safest, and he might have the highest ceiling. So I'll go Montgomery as well, but I hate sitting Terry. I know his numbers haven't been good, but like you said, that 30-point game is just any week it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll go Montgomery here. Good problem to have here.
Go ahead, Bryce. No,
I was going to say, Scary Terry's kind of like Tyler Lockett, right?
Yeah.
He's got your 30 points and then really disappointing weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why this season I'm comparing him to. I think he's got way better outlook in the future, but until they get a quarterback that I think is more consistent, I'm steering clear of him when it comes to guys like these as your options. I'm definitely going David Montgomery. Good Sully.
It's between the two running backs for me, and I do think McLaurin has a better game without Logan Thomas in the lineup. That being said, I have Javonte a little bit higher than Montgomery, but it's really hard to go against David Montgomery. He gets plays 85% of the snaps, touches the ball almost all the time. But I'll go with Javonte Williams because they're playing the Lions, and Javonte Williams has a better opportunity to score, in my opinion. So ceiling Williams, floor Montgomery for me.
Trey says, morning, fellas, full PPR, Judy or Gallup. Also, Russell, Burrow, or pick up Taysom. Thanks. I think we can just go ahead with quarterback and say that. Is anybody here picking up Taysom and starting him over Russ or
Isn't it kind of interesting that all three of these quarterbacks have effed up fingers right now?
Yeah, there seems to be a theme going on here.
I'd probably start Russell out of those groups.
I'm starting Russell.
Easily Russell Wilson.
If I had somebody I could drop Taysom for, I might pick up Taysom just so nobody could use him against me next week.
Well,
I
I do like that, but I'm not starting Taysom Hill.
No, I'd start Russell.
Russell?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Taysom Hill. I mean, even though he had a bad passing week last week, didn't he have like 24 fantasy points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with 4 interceptions.
Yeah, with 4 interceptions. So
Third quarterback this season to run for over 100 yards. Kyler
it
Hurts and him.
seems, yeah, it seems crazy to like think about potentially starting him over these two guys, but I really don't think it's that insane.
Here's why I think it is insane. Because if he has a first half like he had in that last game, I'm not convinced that Sean Payton doesn't put Trevor Siemian back in at quarterback. I do not want to risk, especially if it's a must win for you in this scenario. I do not want to risk only having a half of one of my football players if I can avoid it. And you've got the options to avoid that with Russell and Joe Burrow.
I would start Taysom over Burrow, though. That's not even the question, but that's how I would rank them. Wilson, Taysom, Burrow for me.
Man, I
have Hill and Wilson both in my top 12.
I struggled to click on him in DraftKings. He's a great value, it would appear, but I worry about what Rick's worried about is if he plays before enough.
I mean,
on the outside looking
DraftKings.
in,
I'm using Cam today in DraftKings, but
I can't remember who I'm using.
It's against Atlanta, and he's 5,400. I'll take that value.
I thought about that too, but yeah, the whole
Taysom still scored 24 points. I mean, Cam could probably still do that as well.
I paid up for Brady because I didn't want to deal with it.
I'm stacking the Chargers this week. I have Herbert in his mind right now.
I like that.
I had Herbert in mine as well, but I think I switched and changed it to something else, and I don't remember what it is because that's just how I do.
And
Jerry
Judy for me.
It would be Judy for me as well.
So wait.
A really good week.
Yeah.
Bryce, who did you pick? Who are you playing at quarterback?
Who's the Bengals play this week?
Cleveland.
The Bengals play.
No, Cleveland plays the Ravens.
Oh, I'm sorry. They play Baltimore. Yeah, holy shit.
Taysom plays
Bengals
the
play
Jets.
at home against the 49ers.
You can't just change that to the city.
And Hill plays the Jets.
Yeah, like Taysom has the best matchup.
Oh my god.
Wilson plays the Texans. He's got a pretty damn good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And Burrow plays San Francisco at home. And San Francisco has their top 2 corners are both out.
I'll play Joe Burrow.
Okay, so we've got 3 Russell Wilsons with 1 Burrow, and it's actually kind of a half Burrow and half Taysom Hill, I think, for Bryce.
It just won't. I think it's closer than people make it seem.
I think it could be.
I'm not saying.
Well, you said it was crazy. You said it is crazy.
But it is,
and it is the 3 fingers. The 3 fingers on the throwing hand. They each have a problem with one of them. So collectively, they have like half a hand.
Who's the only guy on this list that could lose his quarterback job and be playing like tight end halfback by the second quarter? That's Taysom Hill.
He's not getting benched.
I don't think he gets benched.
There's no way.
They're playing the Jets.
Exactly. They're playing the
Jets.
And have we seen Trevor Siemian play?
It helps, but
although it is a Trevor Siemian revenge game.
It's just going to be 40 Kamara touches, so like he's not going to have to. Taysom's not going to have to do anything anyway.
It might be like they might run the ball like 40 times, like New England just did. Like they might not.
Taysom Hill's going to rush for over 100 yards again today.
I have the feeling that as well.
$5.
I would take the under. All right. I would take the under.
98.5. Give me a 98.5 line.
Did we all go Judy, by the way, or Gallup? I went Judy.
Shit. I forgot.
I went Judy as well.
Judy.
We swept Judy.
Big week for Judy? I'm hoping a big week for Judy.
Thanks, Trey, you poor guy.
Created internal conflict at Roto Heat.
Don't ask us about Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Trey's like, what?
I've been like the biggest, like, out of all the people on the team, like, I've been the one that said, like, I trust Sean Payton more than I trust, like, all the fantasy analysts out there that, kept saying that Taysom can't be the quarterback. Like, if Sean Payton believes that he could, then I trust his opinion more. He's a good coach. He puts his players in the best position for them to succeed. But
if Cam Newton can play quarterback, Taysom Hill can play quarterback.
Cam Newton can't play quarterback. He's just
that's a good point, though. Like Taysom Hill has a cannon of an arm compared to Cam. Like
you watched that game last week. You watched that game last week, Matt. I mean, the Dolphins' defense was making anybody that looked back there look bad.
It's amazing how much better our defense has been since our top 2 corners came back. Our entire defense is built around those guys being on the field, and it goes from one of the worst in the league to one of the best in the league just with having those 2 guys in. Byron Jones and I forget the other guy's name. He had 12 picks last year. He's really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about my
point
Dolphins.
is that
All right.
we're talking about this with Russell Wilson playing against the Houston Texans. And
Exactly.
What has he done
that's
lately?
what
Though?
makes
What's he
it
done for us
crazy.
lately? Yeah.
But look at last
He had a
week.
good week last week.
You got to look at last week as he's
Lately?
coming back from that injury and it's getting better on a weekly basis.
Makes
Plus,
zero
better than
he's
Taysom Hill,
playing,
though.
Guess who has a
He's playing-
0% chance of being benched?
and that game's in Houston, right?
Russell Wilson.
So weather's not a
Yeah.
factor for Wilson. Weather's bad for injured fingers and stuff. He's back to 80% completion percentage last week where he was pre-injury. I think Wilson is easily the safest play here, other than the fact that Taysom Hill could run for 100 yards and score 2 touchdowns.
Under.
I have it
Look
written down.
Look at this, Roto.
How much money am I down this week? $15 already?
Potentially.
Shit, I better hit it on Fanball. Let's go,
What
baby.
a team. Non-PPR. Deonta Foreman or Van Jefferson. This is easily Van Jefferson for me. I don't even think Deonta Foreman is the best running back in his backfield. That goes to Mr. Hilliard, who has been dominating since he came in. I'm going Van Jefferson. Touchdown upside always in that offense. Sully, who you go with?
Not really crazy about Van Jefferson this week. This game shapes up as more as of a game script for Devonta Foreman than it does for Hilliard. But Jeremy McNichols is also going to be active, so I have no idea what's going on in that backfield. So I'm out on that backfield, and I will go with Van Jefferson here. Bryce?
I am not going Van Jefferson. I think Deontay Foreman is the best back on that backfield. Hilliard had that one big play that helped his stat line, but Foreman is more of the ground and pound 5-6 yards that I think that offense wants. And against Jacksonville this week, I love his upside. Where Van Jefferson plays against the Cardinals, they don't let up big plays. They have ball hawks at safety, good corners. I'm going to go with Deontay Foreman this week.
Really quickly, it's fun to look up what secondary wide receivers have done to Arizona. They've been excellent against the top wide receiver that they're playing. They held Cooper Kupp to his worst game all season, but secondary wide receivers are feasting off them this year. So don't sleep on Van Jefferson.
I have OBJ.
There you go. That's fine too.
That's who I want.
Quite a few Van shares, so I like that tidbit you dropped there, Sully. I'm going to go Van Jefferson as well. I just don't really want anything to do with the Tennessee offense.
All right,
It's just too messy for me.
all three against me.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll take it again.
Absolutely.
Deonta Foreman's best game.
Make sure you
rushed
write
for-
standard because that's pretty rare.
He rushed for
And that will
109
make a
yards and
Good point, sir.
scored a total of like 12.3 points.
This is non PPR, by the way.
Actually, non-PPR, Bryce, I'm out. I'm going to flip. I'm going to join your side of this, Vince. I'm going Foreman, and I will take the bet still on the Foreman side.
In non-PPR.
Well, standard helps Foreman as opposed to
Absolutely.
than Van, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
Van's got to score, hit a big one to outscore
Oh,
Foreman.
I
I'll go
changed
Foreman.
that because Foreman, the game that he rushed for 109 yards, also fumbled. So he only scored like 11.
So did Dontrell Hilliard. Fumbled that game
Foreman.
too. It was against New
Dontre
England.
Hilliard scored fantasy points, though.
I know.
Deonta
I'm just
Foreman has
I'm just
not all
saying
year.
Hilliard did not look better than Foreman that game. He just had that one play that made him look better. Foreman
That was like
the
a
one
67-yard touchdown run or something.
Yeah, New England was struggling against Foreman. They were locking Hilliard up majority of the time, other than that one big play. I think he had two nice runs that really helped his yards per carry. Well, Foreman doesn't have that big play ability, obviously, but I think he's just more reliable when it comes down the stretch for him.
Thomas is like, what the hell is happening here? Foreman for me, Bryce. Mark it down.
We've been off the rails a couple times here.
I'm going Foreman. All right, so I'll go against Rick on this one, and you can go against Matt.
Sure, Matt beats me like a drum, so why not?
I'm
like the Team Pinata.
All right, next question. We got to be faster. Is Bryce bold enough to take Waddle versus the field this week?
We talked about that pre-show, Thomas.
Hey, it wasn't even that bad of a bet. He had a good
Okay. Michael Brown says pick 2, Zeke, Javonte Williams, Monty, Dillon. I'm going Monty and Zeke. Bryce.
I agree.
Monty and Williams for me.
I will go Monty and Zeke, but I like Williams as well. I like all four.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all gonna have good weeks.
I would
I'd
try
try
to
to get
get
in three.
I would try to get Zeke, Williams, and Monty all in there if I could.
I'd like to start all of them, to be totally honest with you.
Tim.
Trey says it was fun to watch regardless.
Yeah, he has no idea what he's doing, but he had a good time, so that's good.
Like, I didn't get helped, but I got entertained. I would like to be a part of the team also, Rick, if there is ever an opening. There's always an opening to join Roto Heat. We like to, most of our content, our produced content is team think, right? We put all of our heads together to come up with an answer before we make a video or something like that. So it's not solely on one person's shoulders. And we get rid of the biases and everything that way. So hit up Sully. We'll make Sully your captain. If you want to join the team, we can get you in there.
Absolutely, with pleasure.
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, Xavier Howard.
Schultz or Higbee? Matt.
I'll go Schultz. Man, I don't love
Sully.
either one.
Last week, the Rams actually played a lot with 6 offensive linemen. That's why Sony Michel had the day that he had. Expect them to do that again today. It's Schultz by a mile for me. Bryce?
Yep, I am all over Schultz this week.
Yeah, Higbee's an emergency tight end at this point. I'm not starting him unless I absolutely have to. Pick 2 in PPR. Marvin, Crowder, Nick. It's easily Crowder. Crowder is at the top of this list. And then
Marvin Jones Jr. is going.
I'm not playing Marvin Jones anymore. I've been playing him in a redraft like all year, and I can't do it anymore.
I don't know, man. I feel like the
everything
Jaguars are going to band together versus Urban and do whatever they want.
Crowder walked out. Hey, they had to talk him back to coming back to the facility because
Marvin, not Crowder.
Sorry, Marvin Jones, because Meyer was shit talking the wide receiver crew
and the coach
talking everybody,
so bad.
Everybody besides himself.
He's like,
he's lost more games in Tennessee, or lost more games in Jacksonville than he did in Ohio State.
Well,
it's a lot different when you're going to coach grown men rather than college kids.
And you're going to the NFL on the worst squad. Like, you take over the worst team.
Yeah, we knew they were going to be bad this year.
Yeah, but he's
just getting to the point that he's not going to get a second year.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that's a very good comparison for him. Like, that's unfair. He was going to lose more no matter what because he barely lost at Ohio State.
He scores more in the bar than he does in the football.
He wasn't that great of Ohio State coach.
I'll go Westbrook.
Well, I mean, I would score more in the bar than I do on the football field too. So
I wouldn't score either place.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I didn't say it would be a high score. It'd be like soccer scores, but
I will go with Crowder and Nick IW as well. There, I don't like it, but I think I have to.
All right. I think I'm going Crowder, Marvin with
I would pick
Julio
up Treadwell if you can and start him instead.
I do like Treadwell.
As odd as that sounds, that's what I would
Treadwell, 9-year breakout.
Jets receiver.
Ben says I need Hilliard, Jeff Wilson, Beckham, Reynolds. Pick 2, Jeff Williams and Beckham. I have to think about it. I changed my mind.
I'll go real quick. It's Wilson and Beckham for me.
I am on
That's
board.
That's who I was getting ready to say, but man,
you picked Jeff Williams, and he's not on there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I meant Wilson. Shut up.
Hybrid of a couple of different guys just to cover his ass.
Jeff Wilson and Jamal Williams in one.
Yeah, that's a good player.
Yeah, the reason why I'm so iffy is because of like last week, right? We thought Jamal Williams was a great play, and then it didn't end up being great. It ended up being solid, but
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'll go Wilson and Beckham as well. That's what I was starting with. That's what my gut said. I do like Hilliard, though.
I just don't think game script's in his favor this week.
It's going to be Foreman.
Yeah, we think that all the time, and then Tennessee gets beat by the Jets.
Yeah, well, they did lose to the Jets. That's true. Hey, Jacksonville beat Buffalo. What the hell do I know?
So, right, that's what I'm saying. Is like every time we think it's like a solid matchup for a team, it doesn't.
That's fair.
So we got to start 2 out of these guys. And for me, Ty Johnson's in there, right? We got Coleman and Michael Carter out.
Coleman's out.
I'm going
Jameer
Jefferson. Right? I'm going to go Jameer Jefferson and Ty Johnson out of this crew.
Yep, that's exactly who I'm going with.
I'm going to double check Coleman. because
He's
it
out.
doesn't matter.
He's
He
out.
is out.
Concussion. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, Ty Johnson's in there if Coleman's out for me, and maybe it happens again like it did 2 weeks ago or whenever that was. But I'm going Jamar Jefferson and Ty Johnson.
I'm gonna go Abdullah and Jefferson. I think
Wouldn't you go
Abdullah.
wouldn't you
in
go
10
Penny
years-
over
Abdullah
Abdul?
gets enough.
In 10 years of Amir Abdullah in the league, the answer's never been Amir Abdullah. It's
It
not
was for like
starting this
1
week.
week, 14 years ago. But wouldn't you go Penny over Abdullah? No.
I would go Penny over Abdullah. Abdullah's
Penny would be
literally-
my third choice here.
I don't know. I don't even know who Walter is, but
He's in New York. He's actually been
Walter's
pretty
the
decent
guy
for the
that's going to
Jets.
take all the carries from your Ty Johnson.
It's true.
They do
We need
not
Ty
see
Johnson.
Ty Johnson as an early down
But
back.
they're-
Walter's
but they're
gonna get
throwing.
that work.
They gotta throw.
They're
They gotta
throwing.
Yeah, if
Ty
he gets
Johnson's
there,
getting
it'll be
all
in the
that.
pass game.
This is PPR, I assume.
That's why I like Abdullah. I think he's going to see the passing down work.
He will.
And
He should.
I don't think he's going to get.
I don't hate
That's
it.
the
I
only
just-
way Cam's completing passes is if it's 3 yards downfield. So
I don't hate it. I just like,
like the
Penny.
check
Yeah,
down.
but he completed 5 passes the last game he played. So
That's good. That's good for Cam.
Yeah, but Amir Abdullah can get all 5 of those and
We are
going to go off
still
today.
not score any points.
We are
go off
spicy today.
we
Cam's
are.
getting,
It's
getting
week
80 rushing
14.
yards and 2 touchdowns.
This is awesome. I don't know if anybody's still watching, but this is
I'm-
awesome.
I'm not
It's
taking
like
the
the Tuesday
PPR
night.
back from a team where a quarterback literally just went 5 for 23 and got benched right after signing a contract.
They
PJ
have
Walker
talked
went in
about-
there and got absolutely annihilated too. The Dolphins.
And they've talked
That's-
about PJ
okay,
Walker.
so that's even worse because even
Okay,
if the
so-
quarterback gets changed, it doesn't
They
the
help.
fired
Dolphins are
their
a good
offense-
team. They're a good
They
defense.
fired their offensive coordinator.
Atlanta's not.
And PJ Walker they've talked about PJ Walker sliding in as a change of pace quarterback this week. So I don't really want anything to do with Carolina, to be honest.
That's my
Other
point.
than DJ Moore because of the matchup.
Yeah, but I don't know if either quarterback can get it to him in any matchup. That
Walker's a
offense
better-
worries me.
Walker's a better passer than Cam.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm a better
I
passer
just-
than Cam.
I can't put Abdullah over guys that are going to get all the work.
Who's going to get all the work though? Not one person on
Jefferson
this list
will.
is going to
Jefferson's
get 15
probably-
touches.
Jefferson is going to get
Jefferson's
80% of
probably
that.
Yeah, and we all took
15.
Jefferson. so
Penny
outside
could
of
probably
him,
get
Half.
12 to 15.
Yeah.
And Ty Johnson could get 8 receptions, which is a target's worth
Maybe.
2.5 carries. So
Maybe.
I'll take that.
I'm
Easy.
sticking with Ty and Jefferson.
Ty and Jefferson. Bryce.
Yeah, I was on board.
All right,
Okay.
give me Abdullah versus Ty, just like I took.
You want to take us all on?
Why am I taking these terrible running backs against Ty Johnson every week? The last time I won, for the record, by the way, it was Rex Burkhead outscored.
We
him.
know.
Rex freaking Burkhead swept the 3 of us. How bad is that?
Yeah, but we did. None of us knew that Tevin Coleman was going to end up getting what he got, which
Except
is
the guy that took Burkhead. I didn't.
I have,
I'm not trying to
no.
toot my horn.
Your
I'm
reason
not trying
for
to toot my
Burkhead
horn.
was you said he was going to get like all the work
Yeah,
that he got. He scored 8 fucking points.
I'm not trying to toot my horn, but there was in my head there was never a scenario where Ty Johnson was going to get the early down work. So it's just a PPR
But
role
that's-
for a guy that's not very talented on a terrible offense. Like I just want nothing to do with it. It's basically Abdullah. They're basically the same
What are you talking?
person.
This whole terrible offense bullshit. We're going to close this
The
down real
Jets?
quick. Do you
Hey,
remember?
we got a couple more questions.
That's fine.
and I
We'll
have
get them.
one. So
We'll
let's
get
go.
them. We'll get them. But I'm gonna teach people something right here.
'Kay.
The offense for running backs that are PPR running backs does not matter. Do you not remember a couple years ago when the Panthers were completely horrible and on offense, and one Mr. McCaffrey scored like 450 fantasy points? The year
It's not
before that,
critical, but I wouldn't say it doesn't matter.
But
One
we're
year
talking about
before
a
that-
guy that should
Shut
is
up.
barely even in the league. Ty Johnson is terrible.
yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not comparing Ty Johnson to CMC, am I? Not at all. The year before that was one Saquon Barkley on a very horrible Giants offense. Led the league in fantasy scoring. When you're a PPR back that catches the ball, a bad offense helps you. The Jets are going to have to throw a ton.
The
Ty
only
Johnson
thing
is
I'll
the guy
say to
catching
that
the ball
is
out
I
of the
think
backfield.
I agree with that. The only if it was Mike Davis or whoever the hell his name is back there, I'd love it even more. But I think Zach Wilson looks more towards Crowder in the middle of the field than he does checking
But
down.
it's
But
just
I
Crowder
still
now,
like
right? Davis
It is
out,
just
Elijah
Crowder,
Moore's out. They
and
need
it's
pass
and
catchers.
it's Denzel Mims and Keelan Cole. Like he
Keelan
has to throw to his running
Cole.
backs.
That's my point. But I'm just saying that
Spicy.
the argument that a bad offense is bad for a running back, and even like think of Allen Robinson in Jacksonville when he had his huge year. A lot of garbage time, right? Like that stuff doesn't equate when you're talking about PPR. A bad offense. The Bears have been horrible for how many years? And Allen Robinson
Ever.
was awesome, right? So that just doesn't. That can't be the argument. Is that the offense?
So
isn't
I'll
very
make it
good
quick because I know
when
we
it
need
comes
to move
PPR.
on. But my point is that in a bad offense, there's gonna be low scoring opportunities, so he won't get any. So the only way he gets there is through an extreme amount of volume in the pass game. That's the only way.
And that's the only way Abdullah does.
There's
on another bad offense.
fair enough. I agree. That's why I said they're basically the same guy. But like I don't know. There's just too much Ty Johnson love for me.
For what it's worth, Atlanta has really struggled against pass catching running backs this season, but I can't imagine that. I don't even know who the hell the Jets are playing. The Saints are dominant against the rush, but you can beat them in the pass as well. So it'll be interesting.
That was fun though.
Mixon, Saquon, Evans, DK, DJ Moore, Diggs, pick 3.
Holy hell.
Wow.
Diggs,
I saw this question.
Evans.
Diggs and Evans
Mixon.
for sure. And
Mixon, Diggs, and Evans. Yep.
yeah.
What in the world are we doing in week 14 with some of the shit I have out there, and people are sitting Saquon and DJ Moore?
I'm like,
And
Demarcus
DK.
Robinson or Josh
And DK.
Palmer?
Totally, right?
Yeah, because Saquon
I'm
gets the
starting
Chargers,
Treadwell.
right? Do you
Yeah,
remember the
that's
talk
why-
weeks ago where we talked about Javonte Williams playing against the Chargers? This is his rookie breakout, and then boom, he breaks out. Like I love Saquon this week versus the Chargers, but I
Me
can't
too.
sit Mixon.
Is there anything to this illness?
sit
He
Evans.
didn't practice all week because he didn't feel well. He's active, but I don't think he's.
No.
No.
I'd worry more
100%
about his.
25%.
I'd worry more about his neck than his illness, which no one's talking about. But I'm still not concerned. I think he's been on absolute fire until last week. I think he's a beast. I don't know how you sit him. I really don't.
I don't know how this guy loses. This guy's got teams loaded.
So Marco decided to tell us late.
Oh, half PPR doesn't matter.
Happy PPR.
Those are all awesome assets, no matter what your scoring is.
No. That was the
Ty
Abdullah
Johnson.
Penny.
Oh, that one.
Jackson. It kind of matters in that one, right?
I don't know if
Little
it
bit.
does.
I
Because
think
they're
it
both
does.
the guys you're arguing over pass catchers, so I don't think it really does change the narrative there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I can switch like Igwebuike and Jefferson could literally get 12, 13 carries apiece. And then we're not as worried about the PPR stuff, right? Like Abdullah and Johnson
Okay.
both might get like 5 carries, and I still don't think Abdullah's taken much of a big portion of the PPR away from Chuba, but it just I think that matters in that scenario.
Anybody
I might
changing their
just
answer?
throw in both Lions.
No, I'm keeping mine.
I am not starting 2 Lions running backs out of that group.
Yeah, the third and fourth stringer. I'm good.
And Denver's going to be pumped today, right? It's going to be a tough matchup for both. I think that Jefferson's there because of volume, and I like Ty Johnson because of the same reason. I think he has volume. He's gonna get carries and he's gonna get targets.
Just don't start Abdullah.
Yeah, no one would do that. That's ridiculous.
Okay, so did we all go Mixon,
Yeah.
Diggs, and Evans?
Anybody sort of worried about Evans?
Mm-mm.
No.
Like
He's in my-
I don't know why.
We can poke holes in everybody.
He's in my DK lineup this week.
There's just so many options for Brady to go crazy,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I have him in my
Mike
guillotine
Mike
line.
Evans been pretty consistent. He's been pretty consistent as long as
It seems
AD's
like
not on the field.
That's
he's been
true, Bryce.
Super
It seems
consistent.
like
all
if
year.
Brady throws it 40 times, 38 of those are going to Evans, Godwin, Fournette, and
Yeah.
Gronk. So
I feel like
Brady's
Evans
my
has like
top-ranked
a
quarterback
Deontay
again
Johnson
this
floor at this point.
Yeah.
Like Evans gets like 15 points every week as
So
long as
my
AD's not on.
question was, are we all starting the same 3 here?
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure Anthony gets the answer.
Anthony's like, what is happening? Just like everybody else that's watching this morning.
I don't know. We're all over the place. Dylan says MVS, Bateman, or any of the Lions running backs, PPR, or Ty Johnson.
It is MVS for me,
MBS
without
for
a
me.
doubt.
Yep, same.
MVS for me as well.
Yep.
Wow, look at us.
Thomas says the crew's rowdy today. I love it. Full PPR. Abdullah, Breda, Igwabuke. Jesus.
I'm sticking
I actually
with
think I'm
mine.
Abdullah here.
I'm going Abdullah.
It's never Abdullah.
It was going to be Breda, and then now Zach Moss is like out of the doghouse now. All of a sudden,
Well, Devin Singletary, like I don't know why. Breida seems like he's probably the best back on that team.
But Breda could get Moss could get scratched again because it's every second week. It seems like Moss does something to get a healthy scratch designation. So
I'll
go with Abdullah. Hope he falls in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Abdullah as well.
I'm not. Nope. Igwabuke, I feel like is just guaranteed more touches. I feel like those running backs in Detroit are gonna split. I
will bet you $5 that Abdullah out touches Igwabuike this week.
Okay.
Out touches?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my paper's getting full.
Out touches, and that's just touches.
Touches. I'm gonna need a freaking short term.
I might lean on Rick's side for that one, but I like Abdullah to score more.
Way to go, Matt. Thanks for the support.
The Lions running backs touch the ball a lot.
They do.
And now it's just like the downgraded.
Awesome. Now I have a reason to watch Carolina's Atlanta game today.
It's like the freaking Dollar General version of Swift and Jamal Williams. Now we get Igwabuke and Jefferson. Steb says, win and I'm in, lose and I'm gonna cry. Pick 3, PPR, Foreman, Boyd, Crowder, Sutton, and Cooks. Cooks and Crowder are in for me.
Yes. So Foreman, Boyd, or Sutton.
It's not Sutton.
Cooks, Crowder, and Foreman for me.
I'm probably going Boyd.
I am Cooks, Crowder, and Sutton. Sorry, not Sutton. Foreman, Crowder, and Cooks.
I will agree.
Absolutely
with that.
not Sutton for me.
Cooks,
Foreman,
Crowder, Boyd.
Cooks.
Foreman's 11-point ceiling does not excite me. I lost Thomas, and now
I'm wrong.
So wrong? What are you talking about? It's his ceiling.
Geez. Here we go again.
It's not his ceiling.
Oh, wait, no, it's not his ceiling.
He went for 100. He had 109 yards and a catch.
It was like his second week.
You don't think he could? You don't think he could?
Like his second week though.
Third.
So he can't go for 60 yards today, catch 2 passes for 15, and score twice against Jacksonville?
He's going to be more involved than you think. He's going to run. He's going to get 15 carries at least.
11 is not his ceiling. 11 might be his floor.
Yards. I don't believe that at all.
All right.
11 might be his floor.
I'll be in the chat.
Shut up.
I'll be in the chat just putting smiley faces when Foreman does something.
That's fine. That's what I did last week. When
O'Shaughnessy for me here.
When everybody argued against Montgomery for me last week, and then he just went out and did exactly what I said he was going to do.
O'Shaughnessy for me as well.
I'm going Vanette against the Jets, and watch Taysom Hill and how much he targets his tight end. That's the only guy he throws to. Nick
he
Vanette
would be next for me.
Vanette for me.
Easily Vanette for me. Easily Vanette for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
They don't have any freaking receivers.
Well, it doesn't matter.
What are you expecting out of O'Shaughnessy?
It does matter. He's gonna.
He's a good buddy of mine. It's 96v1, so
you don't have any good buddies.
Waivers cleared
Why
8 minutes ago. He didn't.
Now you're making shit up.
Amir Abdullah's his good buddy.
He was picking one of these 3 up. He was picking one of these 3 guys up, and the waivers cleared at noon. So I think he already made his decision. I would imagine.
Well, I hope you picked Vanette.
I'll go Vanette too, and he's gonna kill me because I told him O'Shaughnessy earlier.
That's very true, Thomas.
Only doing these bets to make unwatchable games watchable.
Absolutely.
I watch everything anyway. I'm a degenerate. So.
I do it just to talk shit.
Yeah.
And this year I'm like even. What was I up $5 or something, Bryce? When you calculated all that pregame?
You were.
I got to be down about $20 so far. I haven't made a ton of bets, but I've lost all but one.
You were up $5. Yep.
I feel like I'm about even-ish.
Matt, I think you're up.
The best part is none of us pay attention. So Bryce could run the ledger and go, "Yeah, I'm up $75, and you guys are all down." Oh shit!
I'm down. I'm down on my calculation.
You're way too honest.
It's like 30 minutes into the first set of games, and I'm like, "Hey, what bet did I make again?"
Exactly.
I ignore when you put that in there.
I don't even pay attention anymore. I know Bryce will recap for us. We're good.
Ayuk or Gage? Coin flip? Question mark. Ayuk.
Gage.
I'll go Ayuk.
Oh.
I don't like it.
Sully, you degenerate, wants another bet. Listen to this guy.
I'm just saying it's a split.
The Panthers
is good.
defense scares me. I don't feel like the
Gage
Falcons
has
might
been
do a whole
very
lot
good,
today.
except so the week that Calvin Ridley decided he needed to step away, I think that offense was really shook and they were messed up. And that's the week that Gage went for 0. He's been really solid since then. I think he's evolved into their top pass catcher. Pitts is going to have who's your old New England buddy there, Bryce? Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore.
Pitts wants Gilmore. Gilmore wants Pitts, and Gilmore shut Pitts down the first time they played. So it's Gage or nobody this week, in my opinion, in that offense.
Would you guys play Westbrook, Akeen, or Pitts? No premium.
Oh, Pitts. I'm not that desperate.
I am.
We need to.
$250.
I'm very interested in the
fucking
next
league.
question because I have an interest in both.
Beasley versus Tampa or Guyton versus Giants? PPR. Thanks.
I'm gonna go Giant. Or sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Guyton. I just think he's more guaranteed of a role in that offense today. Beasley. What's the number 4 in Buffalo? What's his name?
Gabriel
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah, Gabriel Davis just seems to be on the field. Him and Beasley kind of cancel each other out a lot. It seems like the perfect game for Beasley, but I'm going to go Guyton because I think his role is a little more solidified today, safer today.
Bryce.
I'm going Beasley against Tampa. I think they're going to come out guns blazing. They came off a kind of an ugly loss in the sense of New England did one thing the entire game, and they struggled to really stop it outright. So I think Beasley gets more involved this week. Sully?
I don't know. It would be Guyton by a mile for me if Williams wasn't playing, but that probably we wouldn't get this question if that was the situation. I think it's Guyton for me. Beasley, I don't think he's fully come back from that rib injury, and Josh Allen doesn't look for him. Like Josh Allen had Beasley wide open across the middle and wins that football game if he throws him that ball, and he didn't even look at him. So something's going on there. He only had like 3 targets. I'll go with Guyton, but Guyton is only relevant because he caught a 60-some-odd yard underthrown touchdown pass last week. So I don't really like either one, but I'll lean Guyton.
Beasley for me.
Thank you.
So I have a Guyton question. I have him in my DK lineup for $3,400. Is that a decent play if I'm trying to stack some Chargers this week?
I mean, I would.
I would pay.
I'm fine with it.
I would pay up a little, like I think 600 more and get Josh Reynolds personally.
Can't afford it, I don't think.
I like Guyton, especially if you're playing Herbert and you're kind of going on Herbert having a big game. There's a lot more ceiling with Guyton than there is Reynolds.
If you're stacking Chargers, I think Guyton's got to be in it because he's what helps you get to other players in different secondary stacks and stuff.
You probably have to play Eckler and Mike Williams too.
So here's my lineup.
Well, you don't have to play both.
Herbert, Eckler,
game stack.
Herbert, Eckler, Javonta, Guyton, Jarvis, DK, Knox, Mike Williams, and the Lions, DST.
The Lions defense.
So you have Williams, Eckler, and Guyton?
Yeah.
I like it. Chargers for 40. I don't hate it. I really don't.
I don't hate it. It's just if that
Williams
I don't know what I'm doing.
Williams and Guyton are such good value this week, and then Eckler. I mean, Eckler's just.
I just think that's a big risk in a 75-person contest.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
A little more
You don't
tournament.
need to risk that much on one offense or one game in that type of contest.
See, this is where I need the DFS help that you can give me. Is that understanding what the field is you're playing against? That's not my strong suit, so I get that. So I should spread it out and balance it.
We've only done like 30 hours of this discussion throughout the season that you never showed up to. You know, it's
funny because I'm just doing nothing around here. I have nothing but time for that, I guess.
In a Draftkings league,
I'm not busy either. I mean,
I got to take at least one freaking night off, man.
Running 3
I do Saturday nights.
if I'm in a situation where I'm trying to make a run at the end of season total points, where maybe I'm in 30th, 35th, and I really need big weeks every week, then I might start building more of a tournament lineup. Where if I'm trying to just, take over the top 75 for 1 week, maybe not so much.
Okay.
So, fellas, it's week 14. We're going to have a lot of fun conversations next week once we figure out where we're at in the playoffs. People are really going People are really going to be stressing out in the chat, telling us to shut the hell up and get to their question.
If they come back.
If they come back. I think they like it. I feel similarly about Craig Reynolds as I did when I mentioned Elijah Mitchell in week 1. Adam Schefter just now for fantasy football now. Lions running back Craig Reynolds.
Who?
They're talking about using Reynolds as a bit of a running back as well this week too. Kind of like Debo.
What is he a bit of? Is he a wide receiver?
So
Yeah.
No, Craig Reynolds must be like the third
Josh
string.
Reynolds?
I think
Josh
no.
Reynolds.
It says Craig Reynolds in this
Who the hell is
thing.
Craig Reynolds?
That's,
It must be
that's
the-
what I'm asking.
Yeah, must be the third stringer for today.
that
The
was
fifth-
me last
the
week
fifth
when,
stringer.
or a couple weeks ago when Walter got a carry for the Jets. I'm like, who the hell is Walter?
Yeah, Craig Reynolds elevated.
Yes.
He's former Kutztown University football running back.
So what is he, the 6th ranked Lions running back then?
Has to be fifth, right? He'd be the fifth.
5th, 6th, whatever.
Swift, Williams, Godwin, Jefferson.
There's someone else in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't remember who it is though.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This shit shakes out and never ends up being what we think it's going to be anyway. So,
4.
Ty Johnson and Mir Abdul will both probably get 0 touches, and it'll be a moot point. Next week we'll be arguing over the next 2 guys that'll get 0 points.
Yeah, I guess he'd
actually-
be the 5th.
All my players this year have scored at least a point. I
True,
know some
me too.
people that can't say that.
Robbie
Matt, raise your
Anderson,
hand.
the GOAT,
Yeah,
Robbie
but-
Anderson. He
But what
defended
you're-
that man
exactly.
with his
What
life.
you're
that
leaving
man.
out is the week I
hate
scored
Robbie
0,
Anderson.
I didn't lose. I tied. That's
Yeah, true.
top that.
Okay,
We've
broke
only had
even.
2 of those, 2 0-point scores in all the bets this year, and they just happen to go against each other. What are the
That
odds
was awesome. That was
Robbie
what, KJ
Anderson is my
Osborne?
least favorite NFL player.
Was that Osborne and Anderson? Is that who
of
it
that?
was?
That's like one of the
Abdullah
Island
literally
boys.
might be my least favorite. I've been saying forever, Abdullah's never the answer. He's kind of like Ronald Jones.
I don't
He's
know if
been
I could
hyped.
pick my. I don't know if I could pick my least favorite player.
It's about to be Saquon if this guy doesn't do anything the next 2 weeks because I'm heavily
If he doesn't do it,
invested, and
if he
he's in a
doesn't
lot
do
of
it
my
this week,
playoffs.
if he doesn't do it
done.
this week, it's time to be concerned. If
I
you're
mean,
not
what
already.
is doing it? Like, what is?
I need like Saquon to be Saquon. I need him to win me a week, win me a couple
20
weeks. It's
20
playoff
points.
time. This is a top 5 pick 2 years ago. Like I need this guy.
Well, right, but at this
I'm
point,
so
he's
sick of
he's
it.
not
This
losing.
is
you
least top.
No,
at least
he's
winning
not.
some points.
But 11 is not what we're looking for here.
Well, 11 is better than 0 on the IR. I can tell you that much. Unless you're sitting somebody that is like, some of these questions we have where these guys have better rosters than we do, and they have like Saquon and Mixon and Evans and DK and
That was ridiculous.
Diggs.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
unless you
that's
got
pretty
one of those
crazy.
rosters. Then he might be losing you a week, right? Because you start him and sit one of the other guys that go for 30.
Would you guys start T. Higgins or Aaron Jones this week?
Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Higgins. is
Really?
hot, man.
I'm
And I
scared
think
of Aaron Jones right now. I'm very scared
Higgins
of Aaron
is the
Jones
league
right
winner
now.
the rest of the year.
That's my
honestly
guillotine.
would
That's my only
feel more-
guillotine decision to make.
I almost feel more comfortable putting T. Higgins than Jamar Chase in my lineup at this point. The way they've been playing the last 3 weeks.
Oh,
Depends
I'm
if
not
Chase
even
plays
saying that.
volleyball or
He
football.
out
this week.
volumes them by a significant amount.
Well,
Chase
yeah,
In the last-
but
he
the last
gets so
3
much
weeks.
attention.
3
and
weeks ago, we
that-
were saying, oh, man, this guy hasn't scored since week 2. Like, I mean, there's waves. I still don't.
Yeah, but he also wasn't fully healthy until recently, I feel like.
Westbrook, Ikeen, or MVS?
MVS.
Yeah.
Without question.
MVS.
Yep.
Jordan, tell us who you got at tight end on that waiver wire pickup. We need to know.
He's gonna kill me. He I hope he didn't listen to me. He asked me about
Really
9
start
a.m.
Higgins?
I told him to pick up O'Shaughnessy. I'm assuming he didn't.
Aaron
put him waiver
Jones
for both.
scares the piss out of me right now.
Me
His-
too.
His
But who's
division in-
safer? Luckily, I had a good start because I had Najee in that.
I mean, I would say that Aaron Jones is safer to score some points. But I just don't know that the ceiling's
both
there
good
with
plays.
Dylan.
Yeah, they're both good plays. I'm going Higgins though, for sure.
BK wants to know DK or T. Higgins.
Higgins.
T.
I have Higgins ranked higher.
This
I think
one's
Higgins is top 10 receiver this week, and I think
But I'm talking. I have Higgins
19.
at 16 and DK at 19, so it's almost a
I
coin
mean,
flip for me.
I had Higgins at 9 and DK at 19.
I'm gonna go DK here.
9, eh?
I'm gonna go DK here.
Okay, boys, I'm doing it. I'm putting Higgins in.
Nice.
It's done.
Ready.
Feel like I'm gonna throw up. I'm worried.
Oh yeah, I already threw up when we talked about Amir Abdullah.
Why would you be mad at Amir Abdullah? Like, he was a Lion and a Viking. Like, you must have loved watching that shit for so many years.
I don't care when it comes to fantasy what team somebody plays for.
Fair.
I take that out of the equation.
I don't either. Same. So do I.
But he's like the Christian Michael 2.0, where he's been hyped so many times. He's like Jerick McKinnon, hyped so many times. Every time they catch a pass, it's the fuck here. Finally, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's
but McKinnon was a good back that his knees just exploded, right? Like, he just couldn't stay healthy when he signed with
but it's just
San Fran.
We see it every time they make a play.
Hold on, Jordan. So I called Jordan because I was dying to know what tight end he played, and he said, "Well, I picked up all 3 of them."
Bennett.
So who are you going
Fair
with?
enough, Jordan.
Bennett.
Sully loves Vanette.
I
Rick
like
was
Vanette too.
pretty far Vanette too. I think
I've
I
started
switched to
Vanette
Vanette
the
as
last
well.
2 weeks, actually, in one of my tight end premium leagues.
And with Kamara back, they should have more scoring opportunities than
You go back to Taysom's starts last season, look at Jared Cook's lines, and look at Vanette in the last couple of games this season.
MVS.
Easy.
Yeah, we all went MVS. I'll call you right back.
All right, our first official call.
It's a call-in. It's a call-in show now. I love it. First time
all
caller,
right.
long time listener.
I got to get my lineup set.
Yeah,
Yes,
same.
me too.
Good luck, everybody. Oh, Nate Martin, you keep spanking Nikolai's ass, baby. I need it. Let's go.
Mitch
Nate
needs
Martin.
to win in V2 today.
Fuck Nate Martin.
Now,
He
Mitch
was
has
supposed to
sent
do
me
2 things for me last week, and he did 0.
Oh, this is a 1 QB league, and Nate Martin started Ben. So let's fucking go.
Yes.
For like 30.
I got Ben and Cam in the Grand Prix. Okay.
Cool.
Mitch,
Can't
my
wait to watch
first
Cam go
step.
5 for 28. And
We'll see. I'll be
Get
putting smiley
pulled by
faces with
halftime.
Cam. I'll be ready. I'll have memes and everything ready. Gifts, all that good stuff.
If Mitch wins this week in V2 and I win this week in V2, I'm going to repeat as champion in that league. So let's go.
I like it. I'll try to take down V1. I like it.
This is the
I'm
first.
I
year
was thinking about
haven't
this
made
the other
playoffs
day.
in V1.
I was thinking about this 2 days ago. So winning one of those 96-man leagues has to be the most difficult of any of the leagues I'm in. To be able
It's
to
the
beat
luckiest. He needs so much luck.
to beat 3 other teams 2 weeks in a row, like that's just fucking tough.
Do you know why I won last year? Montgomery's finish, Jonathan Taylor's finish, and I can't. Man, there was one. And
Dalvin,
and
you traded
Dalvin, and I
Barkley,
traded.
that
Yeah,
Barkley,
and I
Dalvin
traded
deal.
for Mike Evans at the deadline.
Thank the NFL for this, because last year they decided to have no buys in week 12, but buys in week 13, which shortened our playoff schedule. And then this year they decided to stretch them all the way out to week 14. So I would love, when we first started, the conference part was actually 2 weeks long.
Mhm.
Who's watching TV?
Somebody on a conference call, or what's going on?
Oh shoot! I accidentally pressed this button. My bad. I moved my drink and hit the remote. I didn't even hear it because I had the headphones in.
You're awesome.
But yeah. So it used to be you played 2 weeks in the conference, so you only played head to head for those 2 weeks, and then people moved on. But unfortunately, the NFL likes to screw with fantasy players. They don't take us into account enough.
Is AJ Brown coming back this year?
Oh, good.
I don't know,
Because I made that.
I thought Michael Thomas was coming back mid last year, so
I made the.
I have no idea.
I traded Evans in my first for AJ Brown in that league because I didn't think I was going to make the playoffs, and now I might. So I might.
Might get AJ Brown.
My
back.
lineup is so good in that league, Sully, and I just haven't had a chance for the last
Look at
5 weeks.
my
I gave
team
up like
is-
5 weeks ago, and I love my team.
My team's lights out. I just had some really bad losses early in the season.
Well, while I have you guys here, I might have some questions now with Shepard starting. So
Let's go.
Because I made some deals in our Grand Prix League.
I'm going to listen, but I got to step off the camera for a second. Yeah, there was that fucking Cordell Patterson trade, man. I mean, I get it. Like, I love that deal for you. I feel like he could have got more, but maybe not. I offered him a deal for Patterson earlier in the year that I thought was a little stronger, but Patterson wasn't the only player in the deal. But to recap, it's a $250 league, and Rick traded a third-round pick for Cordell Patterson.
Third round and Dwayne Haskins in a super flex.
Yeah, so third round.
That's why I just mentioned the third round.
It's the same thing that I said. Dwayne Haskins is probably going to get another chance. Mike Glennon is starting games in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Haskins will get a shot.
Like,
He's never getting a job.
Due to injury, nobody's going to go into the team with him in a QB battle.
I don't know. I don't think, like, if the Steelers can't get one in the next offseason, I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Haskins won the job over Mason Rudolph going into next year. Now they're going to try to get another quarterback, right? They're going to try to bring somebody else in.
They're going to draft somebody.
But there's a lot of teams.
A ton of quarterbacks available.
There's a lot of teams in the NFL right now that are trying to get a quarterback. And it was said on Pat McAfee's show with Bowden. He said, if you go into next season looking for a quarterback, you're in the Andy Dalton business. There's not a lot of people available. So there's not a lot of options out there. So we might see guys like Mitch Trubisky, Mariota, Dwayne Haskins. Like these guys get another shot in the NFL. So
I'd be trading for Trubisky and starting him over Haskins.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that there's a chance there for him. There's still some value. But we don't even know what Cordell Patterson's going to be other than these next 3-4 games. For fantasy, right?
That's
Cordell Patterson could be nothing next year.
When did you make that?
Forever.
When did you make that trade?
Just
yesterday,
at the deadline.
The day before
literally
the deadline.
at the deadline.
Yeah, like 3 minutes before the deadline.
So you did quite well there.
Yeah, it was a good trade,
I mean that was like the sixth offer. He made me work for it.
Rick has been making everybody in our V1 division better for years than me, so it's all good.
Hey, I just need good players for my good players. I don't know what to tell you.
My team is a house of cards there. It's about to
But anyways,
collapse.
For that one, right? Right now I'm starting Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers. But Jared Goff, I mean, I want Daniel Jones back because I like Daniel Jones in my lineup as my
super flex or 2 QB. Super flex. Consider anybody over Goff?
Do what?
Do you have anybody to consider over Goff?
I do. No? That's why we're here now that we know who's actually in and who's not. So right now I have James Conner, AJ Dillon, and Leonard Fournette at running back. At receiver, I have Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, and Cordell Patterson. I have Sterling Shepard available. Now that we know he's in, and then it's a tight end premium as well. I have Kelsey in, but I also have Jared Cook and Cole Kmet available there.
I think I would lean Goff still.
And that's what I have. But
if it was somebody a little better than Shepard or Glennon scares me a little.
It's neither tight end over Goff for me, but Shepard gives me a bit of pause.
Shepard, when he freaking plays and stays in the game.
Derwin James is a game time decision as well for the Chargers. So if he's out, then I like Shepard even more because that guy's all over the flipping field.
In the V2, I'm literally unable to start a full healthy lineup. I have 9 players on bye and 7 players that are hurt or out for the season.
Wow, I have 3 rosters with Laquan Treadwell this week.
I have to start Michael Carter Jr. at running back.
Why are you making this about you?
I just thought that was funny.
You have no one on your bench? No one on your bench? Like you're starting Carter's on IR?
I have to. I had Juju here. I was like my team is insane.
Goff, Rick. Goff.
Okay, but here my biggest point is that I'm facing.
Are we still live?
Another 9 and yes, we are live. Everybody can hear us work through this. We're 3 of us are 9-4. I'm playing one of the other 9-4 teams.
Okay.
And they had Dalvin Cook, Deontay Johnson and Kirk Cousins go Thursday night. So if we're looking at ceiling, does that change anything? Does Sterling Shepard have a higher ceiling than Jared Goff?
No, I think it's the opposite.
I think Goff.
I needed Keenan Allen to come back this week from COVID because I have him on this team as well.
I'm excited for the playoffs in that league. That's gonna be fun.
How do I get in that league?
I have a person dropping.
Who?
That's the Grand Prix League. What's the buy-in in that? Is that a 250?
250. And this
Ready
the
for
team I
Canadian.
just got.
That's like
Cordarrelle
$1,000
Patterson.
Canadian.
The team that just traded Cordarrelle Patterson is dropping out. Perfect.
Oh, that trade's a little
What?
stinky.
Cordarrelle Patterson literally might not be anything next year.
No, I know.
This is dynasty, not redraft.
Yeah,
If it was redraft, I should have paid a lot more. I think. But I mean, the 30-year-old breakout at running back doesn't typically pan out very well.
I'm planning on dumping a bunch of leagues next year, so let me know about that one. I might consider it. Sounds fun.
I mean, you might as well be in. That way we can talk about it each week, and all four of us are in it.
Right? This be the Grand Prix show.
I was gonna say this spot will fill fast. My 250.
The three of us are all going to be in the playoffs, so that'll be fun.
The team dropping is not in the playoffs, I take it?
No, but
yeah, all the teams are like, there's no amazing team. There's no absolutely terrible. It's only 2 years, and I mean, none of the teams are awful.
12 team league with the top 6 making it?
And worst team was 3-10, and best team was 9-4 right now.
Oh, it's a good competitive league then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like my team in that league. It's young, and it's scoring points.
The team you would take over is 5-8, and they've scored. They're like mid pack in points scored.
Superflex tight end premium?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the premium for tight ends?
0.75.
Here,
0.75?
what if I just share my screen?
0.75.
Sure. We should probably answer these questions we have here first.
Well, I mean,
we still have questions.
Technically, we're not even supposed to be live anymore.
Start 2, Barkley, CEH, or Sony Michel?
I'm sitting Sony.
I'm sitting Sony as well.
I'll sit CEH there.
Bryce, you can pop them up on the screen.
Well, you got Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. I full screened that. Yeah, hold on.
Josh
And
Allen,
Trevor
Lawrence, Nick
Can't
Chubb.
see that.
You can't see it?
I guess I don't
Hang
know
on,
why.
man.
Yeah.
Give me a
I'm
second.
over here squinting
Full
like
screen
I
it.
can't go to the league and look at myself.
I'm
Full
old.
screen it,
Hang
so
on.
you'll be able to see it.
Chubb.
Allen,
another good
Garoppolo,
one.
Haskins. T-Law, that could be good.
You got Robbie Anderson, the man, the myth.
My
the
boy
legend.
Alex Collins. Wayne
Rashad
Gallman, who
Bateman.
just got cut.
While you're
running
looking,
back.
Sully, my bench
Those-
players that aren't on bye are Juju Smith-Schuster, John Ursula.
Why are you always making it about you?
Is there not a
He asked
waiver
me.
wire in this league?
FIFA
Cody
Flow.
Fritzen,
I would go
Blake
Barkley
Jarwin.
CEH.
Well, I haven't paid. I'm
Yeah, I'm
tanking in this
sitting-
league for the first
I'm
pick,
sitting
so.
CEH.
Oh, I'm
That team's okay, but it's got a ton of holes in it.
Dude, this team has a ton of good wide receivers, though.
Yeah, it has no running backs, though, right? Chubb, and that's it.
Yeah, but
I
I
think
mean,
he's got
Pollard.
didn't he have a
I'm-
decent amount of draft capital?
Well, Pollard's there.
Well, he's got a third from Rick.
Oh.
Trades are not allowed, so I can't go look at his. Let's see.
You could look up the future draft.
Yeah.
Where the hell is
League.
that?
It's under.
at?
I'll be back.
It's under league.
League.
Yeah, future draft picks.
So Waluigi has his. So he's got his first rounder. Which side is the original pick owner? Waluigi, no second rounder. Third, 2/3.
Huh.
Fifth. Has the first for 2023. And second. And third. So as most of their draft capital for the next 2 years.
I'll consider it for sure.
Like you could get more. You could get more picks though.
I plan on winning a couple of leagues still, so that's some bank for me. So we'll see.
This is a fun league. It's a tough one.
It is.
It's a tough one for sure.
Tough is good. Makes you a better player. Did we answer this question, boys?
Yeah,
we sitting there?
I think we were all sitting Michelle, I believe.
No, I'm sitting CEH.
he's
I'm going
sitting
Sony and
CEH.
I'm going
Oh,
Sony Saquon.
I'm sitting.
What
Michelle.
question?
It was who do you sit
Start two.
out of
That one, yeah.
Sit one.
I'm sitting Sony.
I'm sitting CEH as
Me too.
well. Yeah, that's gonna end it. I gotta get these lineups set.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff to do as well. Hey, it's the Grey Cup up here in Canada today. If anybody cares, it's our Super Bowl. Winnipeg against Hamilton.
Nope, we don't care. Bye.
Go Bombers, born and raised
what
Winnipeg.